Excellent. Stefan, do you want to start off with a good morning welcome, and then I'll take it from there?
Sure. Good morning and welcome to everyone. You can take it from here. No, I'm just kidding. I'm Stefan Amura. I'm the Cabico Experience Manager, and I've been fortunate to work with this great team of facilitators and presenters, Jessica and Cindy, that have created this whole slew of webinars. Cindy has a couple that she facilitates. Jessica has her own. I have mine. So this is our brand new digital human touch program that we're bringing to you. We're really happy that you have all registered or got in great numbers, and we want to use this strange opportunity in times to actually bring you value so that you can go back to your day-to-day and maybe acquire a couple new tidbits of knowledge, new ways of doing things. So we're really happy that you're here today, and we're happy to be here, even though for Jessica it's really early.
It's a bit earlier here, yeah, but it's okay.
There we go. Keep in mind, we'll have sessions every week. Some will be repeats. Of course, if you see other basic sessions, a mail was actually out this an hour and 15 minutes ago with the new schedule for next week. So these sessions that have the same name, they're the exact same sessions. So if you want to attend them again because you love them so much, you can. And if you want to share them with colleagues that weren't able to attend because they got full really fast, please share them. Keep in mind, we have our Q&A sessions on Fridays. So anything you've learned today that you are trying, have questions, have great ideas, because we also want them to be sessions where you exchange your ideas with other dealers from across the country. So that is also welcome. Cindy will be there to answer your questions with Jessica, and we'll share great ideas or discoveries that you might have made that we can reuse in further webinars. So we want this to be something that actually exists beyond the COVID crisis that we have right now. They're all designed to be good in months and years to come, and we'll also always work on them and try to make them better every time. So there you go. That's my little blurb. Maybe one thing of note, this Friday, it's our first Q&A sessions, and Alain Ouzilo, our CEO, will attend them the first couple of minutes to give you kind of a state of affairs with the company. So we thought it would be a good idea to have them talk directly to you, and you can talk directly to him too, so you have a connection. So there you go. So back to you, Jessica, and have a great webinar. I'll actually mute and close my camera because I'll be off and on, but have a great time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Good morning again, everyone. I know some of you were with us yesterday for one or two of the webinars that we presented yesterday. Yesterday morning, first we did the digital human touch, engaging your clients, and that one was very popular. And then yesterday afternoon, we did a 2020 basics. So today we're doing a 2020 design advanced. This is really all about really bringing your design renderings to the next level and making them as realistic and as personal as you possibly can. So to do that, I have my lovely colleague, Cindy, with me. Cindy is one of our in-house designers at Cabico, and she's actually the team lead for our design services team based in Cabico, Quebec, which is where our Essence and Unique products are manufactured. So Cindy has been with Cabico for 7 years tomorrow. So tomorrow is her Cabico anniversary. She lives in Quaticook with her husband and their 3 children. They also just got a brand new puppy this week who's really cute. And Cindy, in her spare time, is a country pop line dance teacher. So she doesn't always feel comfortable teaching people about 2020, but she can definitely teach you some cool dance moves if you like country music, which I don't, but that's fine.
Good.
Love you anyways, Cindy.
You should like it.
No,
So tell us how you really feel.
Sorry?
I say, tell us how you really feel.
Exactly.
Good. Makes you happier to listen to country music from my side.
Debatable.
I'm with you,
We
Jessica.
disagree on that.
Okay, so let me introduce Jessica. Jessica is our national sales trainer. She's been with Cabico for almost 6 years now and was a designer for 10 years before that. She lives in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, but she's always traveling everywhere in Canada and United States. So she is a Blue Jays baseball fan. You too, Stephanie?
Sorry.
The damn Yankees fan. So
Sorry.
again, we'll agree to disagree on that, Stephanie. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay,
We'll be
I could
friends.
take it.
Okay.
Two of our favorite things are the Blue Jays and gin tonics. She knows everything about gin tonics.
Gin and quarantonics right now. That's what's happening. I mean, not right now, first thing in the morning, but in general.
2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can't tell what's in all of our mugs. It's fine.
Nope. Okay, so like orange juice. Like I said, we're going to go over some more advanced topics in regards to 2020 renderings. So I am going to let Cindy share her screen. We're first going to start off kind of where we left off yesterday, talking about renderings, what Cindy does with her renderings to kind of change the light tones and things like that. So those of you that were with us yesterday, this will kind of be a repeat just to the end of yesterday's webinar, and then we'll expand on it from there.
Good. So I share my screen. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. So first of all, it's not exactly the same design as yesterday for those who were there, but almost. First of all, I would like to let you know that you can change your preferences from the elevation to make it easier for you to do nice renderings with more accessories inside, and that your 2020 will be good. As you see, when you're working with elevation on 3D, then it lags a lot when you move it. Is it bigger than yesterday on your computer? I changed my resolution to, is it good? Can you see it good?
It looks really good, yeah.
That looks
Yeah, it looks bigger than yesterday.
Okay. So first of all, you can change your preferences to have your work area in 2D instead of 3D. When you are doing your last elevation, you can put it back in 3D, but during the time you are adding stuff, I suggest to work in 2D. So that's over there. You can take it off and take it on. And then you apply. And now you can see that it's easier to move in your elevation. On my floor plan, I'm always working in 2D.
Did you say 2D or 3D, Cindy?
Two.
Okay.
You can also change your. Oh, I'll do it. I'll say it later. I will let you know how to add lighting in your design. So if you see my design, I don't have any lights in it. Just the regular lights. So if you want to add some LED strips, spots, and stuff like that, you need to go in your room fur. Over there. It's a generic catalog in 2020. Because if you add lighting from the cloud, you won't have lights in it. It doesn't generate lights. So if you want to have LED strips and stuff like that, it's room fur. Then you go in lighting fixture. And then on this design, I would like to have a LED strip. You have strip lighting over there. So you click on it. You could have horizontal LED strip or vertical LED strip. I will use the horizontal one, and I want to add it to my open shelf over there. So you drag and drop in your design, and you move it in the cabinet you would like to have it in, like this. When I move my LED strip, sometimes you can't move through a cabinet or something like that. So you just need to press on control. If you press control, you can drag your accessories without being stuck on the cabinet or something like that. If you don't want your accessory to snap on something, it's control and shift. You press both at the same time, then you can move your accessories. So I did drag my LED strip in my open shelf. So now I will move it up. So with my control and shift, I can move it without giving a dimensions. And on your floor plan, then you can click on your LED strip and put it in and out. After that, you can go in the attributes. Oh, sorry. You can change your light properties because it's gonna be a light and orange light. You can change it to the white and click OK. And then you go in your attributes, variable. Then you can choose to have the light down, front, rear, or up. And in this case, I will use the down. And this is it.
What watts do you typically use?
What? Sorry?
What wattage do you use when you're selecting the light? When you're in attributes and it gives you light intensity?
It looks like the default is 20
20.
watt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you use
I'm
the
using,
default?
yeah, I use the 20 because it's too much if you go higher than that.
Okay.
Cindy, can I ask a question about the color of the lights that you just mentioned? So
Yeah.
when I'm putting different light fixtures in, it appears that the light property colors are different for each of the lights that I'm bringing in. And if I want to make those consistent, I've had a hard time figuring it. I mean, I can just choose them all the same, but there are several that have a default color that's quite nice that is not indicated, and I haven't figured out a way to determine what that color is to match it with my other light fixtures. Do you know of a way to do that?
No. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
And then you can see that you have your light inside of your cabinet. So you can do the same thing. You can copy paste to have it on every shelves. Here's my paste. You look when you're not able to go over through the wall, then Control Shift, you can move it wherever you want, and then you can snap it on the other lead strip you ever used. And then you can change your up down. Like this. So now you have 2 lead strips.
Oh, that looks nice.
Sure does.
You can do the same thing for your. Oh, sorry. When you are using suspended lights or something from the cloud. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the light I already used before, but you can pick whatever you want. So you can drag and drop from the cloud and change the attributes and dimensions. In this case, I will use like 12. I will change the color. Oh. No. Okay, sorry.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that happens to.
At least she didn't get kicked out of the webinar yet today.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, day's not over.
Oh.
Yet.
Oh, I can pick a good one. Okay, so I will do it again. We'll pick the first one. Okay, so
For those of you to mention this morning was if you have a question and you either want to stay on mute or would prefer not to talk, you can use the chat feature and we will be watching that for questions or comments.
Cindy, a quick question while you're placing that LED strip. In elevation, can you rotate that so it's vertical on the side of the cabinet? And then
no, you need to use a vertical LED strip.
Okay.
Instead
So
of
it's one or the other.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
You can't rotate in the elevation.
Yeah.
It should be good to make it in diagonal too. Sometimes when we have X's to do or something like this.
puppy.
Not mine.
Sorry.
Okay. as you can see, there is no light in it. So we will add some spots inside to be able to see something going down from there.
Right, because the lighting that you can take out of the cloud is purely decorative and not functional lighting within your design.
So again, it's in the room for lighting fixtures. You can start to write as our Cabico catalog. So you can write spot, then you'll see the recessed spot. Then you drag and drop in your design. I always change the light property and change the height. So I will put it to 68. And then you can go in your attributes. If you don't want to, if you want to have the light, but not seeing the spot, then you go in variables and display 3D shape. You pick a no. Then you will see it on your floor plan, but not in your 3D. So I drag and drop in under my lighting. Copy paste on the other one. And before starting, I will save. Just make sure. We don't see it very well. I'll try to make it lower. Like this.
There it is.
So you have lights.
Nice.
And you don't see it in your design. You can't see the spot. So you don't have to change the size, the color, and everything. You can also play in your spots in your light properties to move your angle of light, to have it bigger or smaller.
What wattage do you use on those spots, Cindy?
65.
Okay.
Most of the time. So you can use those and just copy paste to add it to your cabinet. We'll just change the height. Now you can see the lights from your cabinet. Do you have questions? No?
No, doesn't seem like any questions at the moment.
Good. I will show you just a little trick before going further. You saw that my design crashed, and sometimes when you try to reopen it, you have an error message, then you lose all your design. Something you can do is Control L. Then if you do that, your design will save as another name. You can do it like 100 times if you want it. When you put in your design a lot of decorative elements, I suggest to do it very often to make sure not to lose everything you've done. So you can see at the top when I do that, like Control L, you can see that it's now a 2. You can have 2, you can have until 100 and 100. And then at the end, you erase all the files you have and keep the last one. I will now show you how to add images from the internet. Most of the time we want to add nice backsplash and it's not very easy to find it. So yesterday I showed you how to add a surface place in your design. Does everybody know how to do that?
How to do what, right?
The surface to add a backsplash.
Could you run through that?
Yeah, I can.
Sure.
I will erase mine.
This will be a bit of a refresher for those that were with us yesterday, but it's a really great thing that I didn't even know how to do. Well, that's not surprising.
Oh.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah. So you click on surface, then you snap a point, then you go to the top. You need to go around the window or you will have tiles all in your window. Then all of the time I go in the middle, then you go around the window. Then you right click at the end. So you have all your backsplash done. So if you want to add like a square under your hood, you can do it whatever you want. After that, you can go and pick a color. The 2020 backsplash are not always nice, so you can add a custom color. To do that, you need to pick in your own pictures. So I will show you how to download a texture. I already have some in a file. So we can pick a backsplash, whatever you want. I could use the Victorian one. And then I always use the normal format. And you can change the size of your texture. So I will go with a 18 inches. So you can change the proportion of your texture is always the same. So you can only change one size and the other one will follow.
So it's always square?
No, not always. It depends on the image you're downloading.
Okay.
So now you can see we have a new backsplash like this.
Yeah, that's nice. That really changes the look of your design.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the way to do that is that you need to go on your web. On the web, I suggest seamless backsplash because sometimes you have like the tiles that goes everywhere and you will see big squares in your design. So you can download whatever you want. I will I will take this one. So most of the time you have other times that that shows under it. Then you save in your file. And this is it. So you can pick whatever you want on the net and download it on a file. After that, what you need to do is to go on your accessory and the attributes. You go in your variable and the texture. Then you go to your user texture library. You pick the file over there, and then you can pick it in your file. And with version 12, what's nice is that all the stuff you put in stays in. You don't need to do it all of the time when you want new images.
Oh, you have lots in there.
Yeah. So now that you have it, you can change the dimensions if you want to. And then you pick OK.
Jessica, will you be sending us the notes on that part too?
Yes,
Please.
we are. This I haven't talked to Cindy about this yet, but Cindy and I are going to work on this on Monday on putting together some cheat sheet resources for you guys, and then we'll send them out sometime next week.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And the thing,
yeah, Cindy, we're going to have a meeting on Monday, by the way.
Okay. Thank you. And the thing who's nice with that is that you can change your texture even if it's already in your design. So when you use it once in your design, it's in your textures in current design. So you have textures from the cloud who are already there too, and the one I had it. And this one is 12 by 18, and you can change it and change the dimensions. If you don't like it, you have too much squares or something like that, then you can change to whatever you want, and it will change on it. Like that. So you can pick the size you want to and change it even if the picture is already in your design. Do you have questions? No?
Cindy, quick question. I think if I remember correctly, the file format is always a JPEG. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. So sometimes when you have cabinets who don't like the color, the Cabico color, because we are trying to have the best color as we can with the 2020 colors, you can change it yourself too. So there's two ways you could do that. You can change it in your global attributes. Then you pick your catalog and you change all the colors to the one you want to have. You can download a texture from the web and then you add it in. In this case, my island and my open shelf were from the same catalog, and I just wanted to change my shelves texture. So I picked this one and changed it manually over there. So you can change your texture. I used a walnut picture I had already, and I put it in. So you can download the same texture. You can move it from horizontal and vertical, but you need to save them as different name to be able to put it in your design. Because if it's quite the same name, 2020 will not recognize it, and you'll have all vertical or all horizontal texture. Is it clear? Am I? So in this case, that's what I did. And I wanted my stools to match this color, so I used it too for my stools from the cloud. They were gray at the beginning, so you can go and add new texture. I could do like hickory, and then you change it. So it's an easy way to have nice colors in 2020 instead of looking through all their colors available. And the color stays in your current design. So if you want to go back to your walnut, then you can. Do you have questions?
Did you do the same thing for the floor? I noticed that you had tile in the main area of the kitchen and
Yeah,
wood.
I added tiles on the floor. Do you know how to do that?
Did you do it as a surface? No, that's what I was just asking.
No, I go in, you can go in your room catalog, over there. Then you go to your tiles, and I use editable floor tiles. You can have square, diagonal, and diagonal with borders. So what you need to do is drag and drop your tile in your design. Then you can change the color of the tile. You can change the grouting color. I like the Sherwin-Williams colors. If you want a cute, they are always nice and easy to find. If you have the name or the collection of Sherwin-Williams, then it's easy to go in and pick it. Sorry. So now that you have your tile, I don't know why it doesn't want to move. Okay. Then I will do it with the last one I had. You can put it on the corner, then you stretch it where you want it to go. You can also go in your attributes and change the tile size. Like this one is 24 by 24, you can have a 12 per 24. You can see, you can have 36. And do whatever you want with it. So after that, you can see that you can make the difference between your kitchen and your living room. And to change the 2020 floor color, you go with the 5 dots over there, and you can pick the one you want from the floor. You can also do it to all of your designs in your preferences. You can go in your file, then you pick preferences, and then you go in your room textures. You can change the ceiling, the color. because normally it's like a floral color, not very nice. You can change it to a white or whatever you want. You can change the floor and the walls. So you can pick which even what you want, and it's gonna be exactly the same colors every time you will do a new design. So you can have neutral colors to all of your designs. Same thing, we talked about it yesterday for your renderings. The ceiling light, if you don't want ceiling lights or if you want auto lights or not. And then you click OK, and all the colors will change. And you can also change your settings to have textures instead of textures with edge. Any questions? No?
Cindy, do you prefer using texture or texture with edges?
Texture, because with edges it's longer to refresh.
Oh, okay.
But you can see a lot of detail. So,
right. Which you can't always with just texture. So,
no.
Okay.
I think this is it for the lighting and the textures. We can change the settings of your presentation too. So as you can see, normally in the display settings, you can change to the 2020 color. So that's what you get. You have all the red lines when you have things going through another. Personally, I prefer to change the font, the colors, and have it always on my design when I open 2020. So I did my own 2020 settings. So it's not difficult to do. It takes time to do that, but you can change. Like if I take the walls, you can change the color to have them green if you want to. You can change the outline. You can change the kitchen cabinets font to the one you want, the size you want. You can change everything. And when it's done, you can also have the colliding items in red or not. In this case, I don't want to see it when my decorative items comes in colliding with the cabinets. So I took it off. And when it's done, you can save it. So you give it the name you want, like save as, and then it opens, let's say webinar, and then you save. So every time you want it, then it's going to be at the bottom line of your team over there. So you can, I did one for my floor plan when I'm working in it, because I don't want to have all the labels. And I have one for the NKBA to do my last presentation. when I use it over there. So you can see I have all my labels in it. You can pick the dimensions you want to have in your design. If you don't want dimensions with the decorative items, you can take it off. You can take off whatever you don't want to have in it. You can, like the tiles are always there, but you can take them off with your display settings. Like you uncross the item, then it's gone. But it's still in your design. It's still in your all over there. Then you switch and you have a clean floor plan. Do you have any questions? You can do exactly the same thing for the elevation. So in the settings, I have one with only my elevation when I want to add some decorative items. And at the end, I have another one, which, sorry, take off all the decorative items. So you don't need to delete them one by one at the end of your design.
Cindy, I have a question for you between working in floor plan and elevation. I sometimes like to set heights just by clicking up, down on the floor plan and just typing the dimension in. If you're in an elevation and you do that, it makes it a lot more difficult to do it that way. Is there a way other than clicking into a different elevation to work in plan but not have it show up in elevation and adjust your ability to set those types of things like height? Did that make sense?
Yes, it does. If I want to change the height of my wall cabinet, you can click your up down, and then on your placement on the side, you can change to like 54 from the floor.
Yeah, but the point I was making is when you're in the elevation, so if you click the other elevation now, click on elevation 2, and then you do the same thing to that wall cabinet, it brings up a pop-up box when you do the up down, rather than, so my point was if you only have one elevation, for example, and you're trying to work with something in that, I prefer the pop-up box setting because it makes it much faster and easier. Is there any way to basically tell 2020 that you're not in that elevation?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But with your placement place, you can do exactly the same thing.
Right, got it. Okay, just asking.
That's fine. You can also, if you don't want to have those dimensions, you want to have like custom ones, you can go in your dimensions and the auto dimensions, you can take them off. Then there is nothing. So you can add whatever you want to your dimensions. And in version 12, what I like, which is closer to the AutoCAD file, you can have a multi-dimension. I suggest to work in 2D instead of 3D on elevation to do that. Then you can pick and then you right click and you have all what you want over there. And you can also, sometimes you have a little line going down there. So you can change it, change your left. You need to do it on the other one too.
And do you have to do that for each individual elevation, even though you create it as a string?
Yes.
Oh, that's frustrating.
You
Yes.
can actually shut off the long extension lines in a preference.
You can?
Yeah.
How do you do
It
that?
takes me forever to find it every time. Check overall settings
Okay.
and then see in the middle, unclick
Oh, yeah.
long extension line.
Oh.
Good. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yes.
Wow.
And now it does it forever and you don't have to change it
Yeah.
ever again.
So Stephanie gets a point.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is called
I like
Train the
it.
Trainer.
So the designer with the most points at the end of the day wins.
Ah.
We haven't
Oh.
figured out the prizes yet.
Eternal glory.
A
I could
virtual
settle for that.
pat on the back.
Yeah. Thank you,
Bragging rights.
Stephanie. So that's a way you can do that for the dimensions. And then you can, after that, go to your preferences and go back to your work area in 3D elevation. Then you have your right dimensions. But you can't go back after that. If you erased one, you need to do it again. That's 2020.
Cindy, what font are you using? I like it.
I'll let you know. I think it's Bangkok. Yeah, Bangkok.
Ah, okay.
And when you like your settings, you can go in your preferences and take them in your display. Then you pick the one you want. And it will always be like that when you will open your 2020. So I did one for my countertops, and you can show the walls too if you want to. Then you have your walls. So for countertop quotes, you can send it. And I have one for my NKBA at the end. Do you have questions?
Quick question. I always forget where the setting is to turn the 2D and 3D shapes off and on. Is it just under preferences? Okay.
Yeah, it's in your preferences. In work area, then you can change your floor plan, your elevation to 2 or 3D.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, just want to follow the. Okay. So to do your 3D, now I already did one to make it faster than yesterday. So I will show you how you can modify your 3D to make it nice without going through 2020 during hours and hours. First, for the lights, most of the time I'm using the ceiling light at 40. I'm not using the scene because I don't like the light over the cabinets. You can use ambient light intensity. You can make it quite clear. And you can use your user light. You can have them visible or not. As you can see, we are not seeing the lights. And if you make them visible, you can play with the intensity too. So instead of going with every lights to make them like 20 or 40 watts, then you can play with all the lights like this. And then you can start your refresh. I will show you one I already did. So yesterday I showed you how to take your rendering and save it as a JPEG in your files. After that, you can play with it's a photo, gallery photo.
Photos.
You can crop. And then if you have a big light over there, you can take it off. But you still have the lights in your design.
Did you save it, do a save as from 2020 to save the image, or how did you create it? Because I've been just snipping them because I find it much quicker.
You can save your rendering over there. When the refresh is done, you save it over there, images, and you save it in your file. After that, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to. Do you ever use the snipping tool? I've just found that personally a quicker and faster, easier way to do this, because you have the image, you can kind of crop it ahead of time and then just save it as a JPEG, as a snipped image.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Can you change the light inside of it?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Okay.
She'll keep going and show you what she does with this and how come she starts it that way.
So you can see that the images are not very clear. Mm-hmm. So what you can do is to add the filters, and you go over there. So your rendering is much nicer now. You can play with the light instead of going with 2020. It's sometimes too long. You can play with the color too. And you can play with the details. As you can see, there is much more details in it.
Yeah, to Dave's point, you can actually do a combo of this, Dave, where you use the snipping tool to crop your scene, and then within that, you use snip and sketch, or the older one, Dave?
I just use the snipping tool that comes with the computer. I mean,
is it Windows 10 that you're working off of?
I don't know.
Because the newer Windows 10 has this newer snipping tool that the old one has. It's just an upgraded version, and you can open that snip into a photo app that Cindy is using. So.
Oh, cool.
The combo, probably in the older version, the combo also works. So.
Yeah, I think you can do that.
Yeah. So you get the best of both worlds. Cindy, what he's basically saying is there is a screen capturing tool that's called Snip, and then you can crop with that directly, and then say open up in the image. So you save the saving step, and you crop automatically.
Right. It's just a lot faster. The save as I find really slow on my computer, at least.
Okay.
So good point. Well, I'll show you after the webinar.
Thank you. So when the picture is good for you, you can save a copy, or you can save as, or save on the right one. But if you want to do it again, you can just save as a copy. And change the name. So it's done for a nice rendering. And when you want to go back to your design, then you can, create, I will create a new tab. Okay, so you go in you were from the design. You go to show drawing layouts. Then you can pick it. And you have your frame already done. You can pick whatever you want. You can add frames to and make it bigger or smaller. And you also have your name or your company name at the bottom. You can change it the way you want. So what I do from there is that you load your image. Oh, today it's going to be better than yesterday. It seems not. Okay. And you can pick the picture you want, and then it's in your design. So it's an easy way to do it. And from there, you can add frames to show like your door model. Then you can load.
Cindy, what template are you using for the drawing layout, the starting point?
Template 1. So you can add your Cabico door model to your design. You can add another frame for the color. Right. So you can add it to your rendering. You can show a mood board or inspiration or whatever you want and add it to your rendering.
Nice.
That's nice.
If you had a picture of like a handle or like a closer up picture of their backsplash or flooring or something like that, you could put that on there too.
Yes.
A
You're
faucet,
talking
a
about
sink?
sorry.
Could you put a faucet or a sink or anything on there?
Yes, you can. You can pick
Probably
whatever you want.
basically any picture that you have.
Yes.
You can add that on there and make it look like a design board, which is very helpful in our current situation where you can't actually meet with people in person.
Sure is.
Yeah. You can show like this.
Right.
This is your backyard.
Yeah.
And Cindy, on the title block, the defaults there. So using the title block editor, so yours is showing the default. You obviously have the Cabico logo in there, which we've set ours up to have the studio logo. But I've actually changed all my settings in the title block editor. But I'm curious, will they? Because I just pulled it up on my other monitor here so I could see if it was doing the same thing as yours, and it's not defaulting to what I have predetermined. So how do I change that in the drawing layout?
You go to your file, then to print, page setups, and then you add your logo over there.
Yep, got it. But how about the text, right and left text, which aren't showing up here the way they do in the
It's good question.
Right, 'cause with the title block editor, the defaults, you can actually change that. But right now it's showing the default description on the left that the drawing is artistic interpretation, which I wouldn't want that on there. So my question is, how do I, if I'm using this format, how do I change that?
I will try to find the answer for you.
And it's also not showing the text right that normally comes in the standard title block.
Okay.
And I use both of those. So one I enter our studio information, the other I enter my client information. And I've been changing those in the title block editor.
Okay. I'll try to find the answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I had never done anything other than add the logo and name.
Yes, me too. It's Josh who was changing it for us.
Yep, we'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll consult our other 2020 expert.
Yeah. So to go back to your design, you can, we'll come back to my layout.
Oh, Cindy, before you move on, can you just go back and we had a question about where to add your company logo.
Okay.
So can you just go back and show how to do that?
Oh, this is Josh's job to add it. You can send the logo. You need to go in your hidden files to be able to add it in. You can, Josh knows how to do that. You can call 2022, but I'm not sure I could help you out. Maybe
Okay,
I will
I'll
ask
see if
and I'll try.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find out as well. And then we'll for sure include that on our reference package that we're going to create for everyone a little bit later.
And
we've done it from the title block editor. If you download the title block editor from 2020, it gives you all the details on where to do that. You have to actually save your logo as a 200 by 200 JPEG image and leave it on your desktop, and then you can bring it in. But that's if you follow the instructions online from 2020, they tell you specifically how to do that. And I went through and we set up every desktop and laptop in the studio to include that company logo. Okay. It's relatively straightforward once you know how to do it, but you have to have the image saved in the right format. Otherwise it doesn't import properly or at all.
Okay, thank you. To go back to your design, there's two things you can do. You can right click and show design, or you can click on the little squares at the top of your bar, and it goes right to the design. And there's something I forgot to show you, is to change the handles, the hardware in your design. So a good way to do it, I only found one company, which is Amrok, who has different hardware for 2020 that you can add to your cabinets. You can download Amrok from 2020.net. Maybe you could go on their website too. Most of the companies has their 2020 catalogs on their website too. So a way to do it is to pick a cabinet, then you go to their attributes, then you go in your add-ons, and over there you can find the catalog name. You can pick another one, then you pick your Amrok catalog, you press the plus, and you click handles. So you can see that there is no handles on my cabinet anymore. After that, you click OK. Then you go in your style and pricing. You click amrok, catalog, then catalog style. You can pick your pools, then you'll see their catalog opening. If you pick pools, you can see their collection. You have gold ones, you have black ones. So if you want like gold tones, you can pick champagne, you can pick brush, and then you have the handles available for this finish. So for the doors, you can pick the width you need. Like this one, I will take the 8 inches. You can pick another pull for the drawers. Like this one. There's other like more contemporary, like this one. Okay, I didn't pick the good one. You can take them off. If you don't want them, you can take them off easily. Okay, then you submit. And when you will close, you are not seeing the handle. Okay.
I thought you could see them.
Now it's the old ones. I'll pick another one. Then you go on your cabinet attributes. Then you pick amrok, and it has been changed.
Cool.
You can change the quantity to like 1. And it's done. If you want to add it to all of your cabinets, you need to pick a cabinet. You can click on your control, then take it off. Sorry, I moved my cabinet too. By keeping your hand on control, you can pick more cabinets.
You can select all of the cabinets that you want it to apply to.
Then you right click, and you have your add-on attributes. Okay, I will try with 2. Okay, you go to the attributes, the add-ons, then you can pick amrok. So it's gonna be added to your cabinet.
Cool. Cindy, a question about placement. I know we can select the general position, center, bottom, horizontal, whatever that detail would be. In some cabinet manufacturers settings, there's an XY position, a dimensional change that you can actually move pulls closer or further away from the edge, right and left, up and down on the door or drawer front. Is that something that can be turned on and off, or is there a way to change that? I've had a difficulty doing that with Cabico.
Yeah, I think that's something you can turn on. I will let Isabel know, our programmer.
Right. We have someone who is contracted to program our 2020 catalogs for us. So we can mention that to her and hopefully have that changed.
Okay. It's a good setting to have. Just as an example, adding edge pulls, which are fairly popular these days, and I haven't found a way to be able to show those properly in Cabico.
Okay. I will try to find it. I know you can change some settings when you go in the global attributes. You can the door. You can change your rail size in our catalogs. You can change the pool style and where you want them to be positioned. So I will show you for the rendering. So now you can see the pools. There is nice models and nice colors you can pick, but you can't change the colors from the general ones.
Cindy, which presentation view are you using for this?
What do you mean? Which presentation?
Which 3D view are you using? When you go,
I'm not sure to follow you.
are you just using
just texture?
Yeah, texture.
No. When you go to, give me a second here, let me ask this correctly. When you go to presentation, you can do perspective view, front view, top view, isometric view. Which view are you using?
Oh, perspective.
Perspective.
Okay.
So that's a way to change your cabinet hardwares. You can do that to your oven cabinets. You can add ovens from different manufacturer if you already have their catalogs in your 2020. So that's something nice you can do to add stuff to your Cabico cabinets. It's always in the add-ons, and then you change your catalogs to what you want. I think we've been through most of our points for today.
Yep.
Am I right?
We have.
Do you have questions?
Does anybody have any questions about what we have gone through today or anything else?
No, but this will be on, you'll post this, right?
Yes, we did. We're recording this, and I think this weekend they will be uploaded to our Cabico Academy YouTube channel. And then, yes, in addition to that, we're going to work through, we're going to work on making a kind of cheat sheet resource for you guys and send it out to everyone that has attended one of these 2020 sessions as well.
I think that'd be very helpful.
Yes.
Yeah,
me too.
I agree.
Because
I
I'm looking
agree.
at
It would
mine
be
right
very
now and I
helpful.
can't even read it.
Oh, okay.
Good point.
Yeah.
We'll
Cindy,
also send you bigger monitors to help with that.
there you go.
Thank you.
Whoa, Stefan.
Hey, Cindy, in your drawing, you have what look like large view planes for your exterior scenes drawn in outside the windows. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yep.
Over there?
Yeah,
Your
you have the-
scenery.
yeah, it looks like you have two large walls
yeah.
drawn in to do your scenery in the background.
Yeah.
Would you be able to talk about those a little bit before we go?
Yes,
I don't
we
want to. Okay, great.
That's something we showed yesterday too,
Yeah.
for the ones who were there. It's something you can pick in your room catalog. Instead of adding a picture in every window, which is the same picture everywhere in the house, then you can go in room, then you pick windows and scenery. So you drag and drop in your design. You can pick a picture from 2020 or on the net, like a backyard. You can place it behind your window and stretch it. I will take off the one I already have. And put it further. Then you will see that it's like quite huge. You can, as we know, the grass will not go that big in the window. You can up and down it like this, and then it's a normal picture.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
That's great.
Yeah. So it's not exactly the same thing where everywhere you want. Sorry.
Cindy, when I open mine scenery, it just shows up as white and it
Yeah.
doesn't give me any pictures. Are those pictures you've downloaded? Did I miss that part? Or are they loaded already?
This one I've downloaded it, but you can have when you go in your attributes, when you drag and drop, it shows a white.
Right.
Then you change the texture. You go in your backgrounds.
Okay. Ah, okay.
Then you
Didn't see
pick
that.
whatever you want
Thank you.
from the regular 2020.
Right. Okay. Ah, there it is.
Then you can see I picked the same picture on my both scenery, but it's not exactly the same thing. And something you can do when you have a door like this, you can see the floor outside. What you can do is you can take a custom shape like this. Then you can put it over there. You right click on it You make 3D with it and a 3D shape. Then you play, and you can change the attributes. It goes with your content automatically. So you need to change it. I have a light green over there. So you'll see that there is no floor outside.
And if you just move that wall in closer, will that do it too, Cindy?
If I
In other words, your scenery that's on the outside, that's on a bit of an angle.
Move the scenery closer in.
Yes, you can. Sorry.
And the reason it's doing that is because it's a slider, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And you don't have it anymore.
Nice. I think that's easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks good. And Cindy, can you talk about your camera settings in terms of your perspective view? I'm just curious. So you have the camera turned off, so we can't see it. But I'm just curious what your settings are for that. The view you have is quite nice in terms of the
Okay,
basic
I
settings.
like to play with my height and the angles, so I'm not using the camera on the floor plan.
Okay.
You can change your settings of your camera by going over there in your clipping. You can change your camera and bring it like closer in your room and play with it instead of going in.
You do all that from the rendering
yeah,
mode.
Always.
Okay. Yep.
And the same thing with the clipping object. If you don't want to show your island, then you can go like this instead of moving the island.
Cindy, we also had a question from Jason Burgess in regards to, you were just talking about changing your standard wall oven or microwave appliances in a cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be able to show us how to do that quickly?
You just take your cabinet and go in your attributes. Then you pick your add-ons.
Oh, and you just switch to a different catalog.
Yeah.
So as long as you have another appliance manufacturer's catalog installed, then you can just switch to that and choose a specific one. Okay.
Cool.
That's extremely easy looking.
Yeah.
That's great. And then so that applies to a combo cabinet as well, whether if you take a cabinet that has a wall oven with a microwave as well, you can adjust both appliances.
It's just quite more difficult.
Okay.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay.
So you need to trick it a little bit. But sometimes what I do is I stack cabinets. So I stack a wall microwave cabinet with another tall cabinet, and I reduce the height of the top section, and I stack them.
Okay. And then for some of the built-in microwaves that have trim kits. Obviously, again, I guess it would depend if the manufacturer has those catalogs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you'll see that it's much nicer than the generic ones.
Yeah, and gives you a lot more variety instead of being stuck with what the 2020 default is.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Cindy, we had another question from Nicole. Instead of having to use the 2020 cloud, is there another way to get furniture and accessories in the room, or is the cloud the best?
We already, someone from 2020 sent us the old 2020 decorative
items
Yeah.
catalog?
Yeah, I could send it to some of you if you want to, with the old ones, because they know that when you take it's old accessories, but you can change some of the colors and everything on it. And because 2020 knows that it's very heavy for the designs when you take accessories from the cloud. So they sent us one. I could send it to you by WeTransfer or something like that. And then you add it to your 2020 software. Then you have the old, the old plans that we had before.
Okay, and then they'll be a lot lighter on your design.
Yeah.
Okay, we can when we send out our kind of cheat sheet resources, we can include a WeTransfer link for you guys to download that as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jackie, you go ahead. Did you have a question?
No, that's okay. I'm trying to keep my dog quiet at the same time.
Oh, okay.
That's why I've been on mute. Do you use SketchUp? I use that a lot for my accessories.
No, I don't use SketchUp a lot. Just when I can't find anything in the cloud.
So we are working on a SketchUp webinar as well. I think we're going to add that to our schedule, not next week, but hopefully the week of April 13th. So watch out for that one as well.
There's a lot in there that I use because the cloud is a little lacking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had bad experience from SketchUp, so I take it far away from me.
Works way better on the newest version of 2020, I do have to say.
Okay.
Cindy,
I
you
agree
can attend our
with the
webinar
SketchUp.
on SketchUp and maybe you'll enjoy it more.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll give you a rebate, Cindy, on the price for the.
We have another internal designer. While she works out of our Cabico boutique in Quebec City, and she uses AutoCAD and SketchUp and another kind of digital presentation program. So we're working with her to create some additional webinars as well.
Ooh.
Perfect.
We also had Jessica J. Cutter asking Cindy, how much RAM do you have in your computer? Do you know?
No.
Stefan, you would probably know better than Cindy does.
Yes, but without having access to a computer, I wouldn't be able to say.
Sorry.
I can check it out. She does have a beast of a computer. I would say a gamer computer, so probably minimum 12 gigs, but most probably more than that.
Jay, we can find out and let you know for sure.
Yeah.
It's a computer built only for us. We had an IT guy who bought every piece of the computer and did it himself. So I don't know what's in it.
I'm sure it's either is or much higher than 12 gigs. But I wouldn't. With 2020, with the stuff you're rendering, I wouldn't even think anybody would insane mind would give you less than 12 gigs around.
Yeah.
But we'll check it out.
Any other final questions before we wrap this up for this session?
Nope.
I am, for those of you that were part of yesterday, right now I have just added a link to a quick 3-question survey into the chat window. So please open that up right away before we end this meeting, otherwise it will disappear. So we just want to know what you thought of this webinar, what your key takeaways were, and what we can do to improve in the future. If there's additional questions or topics you think would be good for us to cover in these sessions, please let us know. This was our very first 2020 advanced session, and this week is our first week of this new webinar program that we have launched. So we are learning as we go, and we're going to continue to kind of improve each session and use the feedback that you give us for that.
Excellent.
Awesome. Well, if there's no other questions, then thank you guys all for coming. We will definitely be in touch with you as soon as we have our resource cheat sheet to get you, and hopefully you have already registered for some of our upcoming webinars. We did just release next week's schedule earlier this morning, so we'll next week release the schedule for the following week as well. So just keep your eyes open for that.
Thanks so much.